Hello, everyone, and welcome to Synergi's Executive Podcast Series, the first and only BPO-led discussion platform in the region where we typically explore how leadership strategy, operations come together in a real business scenario. Today, I have a great pleasure to welcome Mr. Ghayath Syoufi, partner at CapG and Consigliere, where he works closely with founders and leadership teams in a trusted manner as an advisor supporting startups, growth stage organizations through fractional leadership and strategic guidance. Welcome, Ghayath.
Thank you very much. Thank
Pleasure
you. It's
to
a
meet
pleasure
you.
to be here.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much. So maybe if you tell us a bit more about your journey. So you have been in the
Sure.
corporate world for several years as a marketeer. Then this shaped into CapG and Consigliere.
Yeah,
So maybe if you tell us a bit more about your journey.
for sure. I'm Ghayath. People know me as G. That's why it's called CapG. I started my career like long time ago, not very long, but long,
Yeah.
in the advertising and media business. And I started working at an agency, like everyone does when you start this cycle. And then after a couple of years at an agency, I moved to the client side, and I came back to Dubai actually with a client. The client was a telecom operator. It was launching, so we were part of the startup team, and then gradually I was responsible for the media and marcoms for that entity, until 7 8 years through the line, I decided to open my digital marketing agency. Back then, digital marketing was something new to the region here, so I did that. It survived for a couple of years. It was a very good experience on all fronts. Post that, I moved again to the advisory and consultancy level, where I was working with big agency groups on their telco business in the region, because I had a major experience in telco dynamics from a marketing and advertising perspective. Throughout that journey, I was always building my capabilities. I'm the kind of person who always like to upgrade my softwares, because a lot of people don't do that and they become obsolete, unfortunately.
Correct.
True.
I worked a lot on the digital front, and then the digital transformation, and now you have the AI and the use of the AI. Some people think AI is a myth, but when you deep dive, you find the real useful of the AI. Until early 2020, where I joined the medical aesthetics business as a fractional CMO, but it was not called fractional CMO. It was called consultant.
Okay.
So I was the CMO of the company, and then this became a permanent role. The industry was so dynamic, it sucked me fully in. I stayed there for like 6 7 years, and I changed my role also to a more business and commercial role within the entity itself. This gave me the full 360 view of the business from all perspectives, not only the marketing as a standalone silo,
Of
but how
course.
the marketing operates closely with all the other functions of the company: commercial, operations, supply chain, finance, you name it. And when you reach that phase and you have this business acumen knowledge, you are able to talk to founders and CEOs with the same language, and not selling them marketing as some social media presence or bits and pieces or ad hoc basis. So you sell them the marketing as an integral revenue generator of the business itself.
Performance marketing.
Performance and everything related to the marketing, from the brand to the performance, but you position the marketing in the right way amidst the full business model, not as a standalone silo
As
on
a
that
core
perspective.
function, even.
Exactly. And this is where we're working a lot globally to change the perception of the marketing from a cost center to an actual revenue catalyst of the business itself. Because most importantly, the first element of any marketing activity is the consumer journey. And this is where the money comes in. It's the interaction between the customers, the consumers, the patients, you name it, with the actual business or with the actual brand. So, having all these thoughts, I was looking around for globally, I was reading around about the rise of the fractional model, and the importance of the fractional models as we're moving forward, and especially for the small and medium enterprises, because these companies do need the C-level experience, but they cannot financially factor that in their model,
Yeah.
or at a certain extent they do not know how to deal with such a layer of talents. So, and I've also built, thanks God, a very good network in the region because of the time I've stayed here. So I thought I have the network, and now I have the knowledge, and now there's this new virgin model. Let's try to take this bold move, and it was a bold move, and start this, pioneer this in the region here. And this is how the idea of the first leg of CapG Ventures started. Because CapG Ventures, in my mind, it's a future holding that has a lot of entities in it, or a lot of verticals in it.
Yeah.
Commerce and other stuff. But mainly, the first, if you want, vertical was the fractional business.
Ghayath, take us a little bit a step back. Explain to us what is a fractional CXO and why do companies, whether they are a startup or they are a fully fledged company ready to expand, ready to grow, why would they need it and how does it work? Who owns what? How does it work?
That's an amazing question. And this is the main, if you want, selling point of any fractional C-level person coming to a company. Basically, a fractional CXO is someone who is who has the ear of the CEO of the company or the executive committee of the company, and who will advise them and guide them to grow the business from a marketing perspective, or from a financial perspective, or from any other perspective. What is the difference between the model of the fractional versus the other standard or traditional consultancy model? And this is where the key difference happens at the client side. When you say consultant, you feel the rejection, with all due respect to all consultants.
No, we agree.
Yeah.
When you say fractional is different because we strategize, either we build the strategy or we enhance the existing strategy within the overall business objectives, but most importantly, we lead the execution. And this is where the difference happens. Because leading the execution is what these SMEs need. They need someone who knows what he or she is doing, and they are leading their teams or their external partners. They're ensuring that all the building blocks of the strategy are being implemented. They have the know-how, they have the agility, they have the network, and they have the business knowledge. And here I go back to the business acumen knowledge, not only one part of it, because at the C level, you're exposed to all the components of any business.
Correct.
To drive accordingly. And yani, looking at this region very closely, the type of companies in the SME world are fragmented into different types. You have the new startups. They're not really SMEs, but some of them has gone through the funding
Phases,
thing.
yeah.
Exactly, and they're operational now. And these companies are mainly what we call born digital companies. It means everything there is digital. And sometimes, and most of the times, the founders are either tech persons or coming from a financial model.
Yeah.
And they have this idea and they want to make it happen. So yes,
But
they know
don't
everything.
the
Exactly.
operational functions.
Exactly. So yes, they know the technical part, they built the product, or they know how to bring money. But when it comes to the actual putting this product on the right track and growing it, they lack some things because they were not exposed to it. And this is where we play a big role as fractionals to support them in that journey. A lot of startups globally have failed, not because the product is not good, but because no one knew about the product.
Yeah.
Or it was misinterpreted, or the customer experience with the brand was not promising enough. So this is the first layer of the companies. The second is the small and medium. And most of these companies in the region here are what we call born analog. These companies started before the digital era, or at the early stages of the digital era. So most of them now are in a transformation phase. A lot of family businesses where the kids are there now, they want to change the business model or enhance the business model or optimize the business model. A lot of big companies that feel that something is not working in the operation model itself. They're stuck somewhere. They're not being able to scale because the business model is delaying them or it's too heavy. There's no agility in the company, too many bureaucracy, too many partners. Some things are automated, yes, but most of the things are still manual. So these also need a lot of guidance on that
So
perspective.
they bring the advisors.
Exactly. They bring the fractional C-level
Yeah.
people on board, and these fractional people work with them to make things happen. And this is now where the scope of the work differs between one company to another. Scope, duration,
Yeah.
etc.
I think also an important fact is that a fractional person will probably be able to see some blind spots that in-house teams, owners, founders,
Definitely.
families will probably not be able to
That's a very
see.
good point because, yes, I agree, you're a fresh eye looking into the overall system. But most importantly, and this is something a little bit, if you want, political within the company, the fractional person don't play politics. I don't
He's
need
not
to.
interested.
Exactly. I don't need to tell the CEO
Yes.
always you're right because
Yes.
I'm afraid that I have a salary. No,
Yeah.
these are the best practices.
Yeah,
We can
facts.
do this, we can do that. So you don't play politics internally. And this also is appreciated because they hear a very unbiased opinion, a very objective opinion about how things are done. Now, they don't need to go and do what you're recommending them. It's their call, but at least
They hear
you
it.
put the best practices on
Yeah.
the table, you try to fine tune, you try to find a midway solution, and that's how you drive it forward.
Okay, okay. Ghayath, if we look at the region here, the concept is quite new. Okay, it has been existing for some time, but still not spread enough
Yeah.
across. So, say if I'm an organization, why would I go for a fractional person versus hiring a full-time resource in terms of efficiency, in terms of cost, in terms of blending with the internal teams?
We
What are
see
the
it.
key?
It's a struggle for
Yeah.
companies
It is
to
a big
kind of
struggle.
decide:
Exactly.
do I do this, which is more cost effective, which is
Very true.
value added more?
Very true. Because there is a big lack of misunderstanding and lack of education on the model itself. And there is a big, as you rightly said, Sulad, there's a big fear on are we doing the right thing or are we not doing the right thing. So what the factors that play within this thing are first of all it depends on the maturity, thinking, or level of the owners or the leaders of the company.
Correct.
Some of them know the value of a C level versus a non C level. So this is the first milestone. The second, and we have to say it, the second very important milestone is the financials.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're getting a C level talent at
At a fraction of the price.
at a fraction of the price and without the overhead.
Yeah.
Yani you have the pay and you have the overhead also, which is a big other
Yeah.
amount to cater for. So that's very important. The third thing is the agility of that model that can make things happen quickly. Now, this depends a lot on how the actual organization is built. Because in some organizations, even if you want to do things quickly, you can't because a lot of factors there might slow you a little bit.
Bureaucracy, long
Bureaucracy,
process.
non-existing of a marketing team where you have to think a little bit in the execution. Because at the end of the day, we want to walk the talk with our clients.
Yeah.
We cannot tell them we supervise the execution and one day we tell them, oh no, I don't do that. Oh no, I don't. Especially in a market where this model is not mature enough. If the model was mature enough, you tell them, listen, I'm a fraction C level. I only touch these areas and I supervise these areas. But we're building a business and educating the industry about it or the different industries about it. So we have to compromise now. Yes, I will help you in the execution. Yes, I will do the execution. But if you think a lot in the think with an S, a lot in the execution, it delays you from strategizing and from building
Yeah.
the strategic pillars. And this is a learning. I personally have experienced this learning throughout the short path in the fractional business.
And I think here
That's
is
a very important one.
very important, and I